Good morning. My name is Don Carter with Oxbo International Corporation, and I take care of sales down here in the Willamette Valley with berry harvesters. I'm based out of Pasco, Washington. We also take care of the green bean, sweet corn harvesting equipment down in this area. And I want to thank Tom for inviting us again. We've been doing this for a few years now, and it's a great opportunity to come down and see everybody, so thank you very much. The focus of this is what's new, and this year there is a lot of things going on. Unfortunately, it isn't necessarily with the harvesting of the berries. What's coming up is that we are dealing with government regulations and engines, and so we have to be Tier 4 compliant with all models by no later than January 1st, 2018. And so that means that we need to get engines spec'd out and get them into the machines, testing, to make sure that by the time we put these things out on the market that they're ready to go. And because we have multiple machines, multiple models, each one has to have a prototype out in the field running. So that is a great deal of what is going on this year. And just a few highlights of what is going on. I'm assuming everybody understands, but Tier 4 compliance is basically emissions. And on the smaller side, it hasn't been quite as drastic as what we have seen with the larger engines. However, just a few points you should realize. They are more expensive. As we have been going up with tier compliance, they run higher temperatures, requires more cooling system in order to keep them cooled down, so the cost of the packages does go up. We've been able to get away with mechanical on the fuel system, and going forward they are going to be electronically controlled. And as a part of the update of each one of these chassis, that means that we're going to be updating the electrical system, and that's something that we've been working on getting ready for today, and some of those chassis have already had the electrical system updated in preparation for the Tier 4 engines. But all of them will have to be updated, and that typically is going to mean CAN bus style of electrical system, computer controlled to manage the engine functions. Some of the models we are looking to see if we can get a little bit more horsepower out of them. And they're, based on what we're seeing so far, we do think that there is potential there for some improved fuel economy. The intent is that there will not be any DEF or DPF, which is diesel is exhaust fluid, which those of you running diesel pickups all know what that is. You also see in the higher horsepower tractors, or DPF, diesel particulate filters. That's where you're having to burn the burnout cleanouts. And expensive, it requires more space, so that's something that we are trying to stay away from. But there will be prototypes in the field in 2016, and again, all models must be converted by 2018. Most likely there will be some models available 2017. So, any questions on that before I go on this?
You guys in the back here, okay?
Yeah.
How much more expensive? Percentage-wise, or?
Some of the engines are going up by 30%. In the neighborhood of 30% or more. So it depends on, the ones that you have to use the DPF are more expensive. Those diesel particulate filters are not cheap. So that's another good reason to stay away from it. But yeah, they are more expensive.
Another question, this is just new machines?
Correct. If it is whatever it was born with.
Okay.
So if it was born with a prior engine, you can continue to put those in it. The only thing that you'll see going forward, and again, we've seen it more on the larger side already, but like engine replacements and such, you will still be able to get some of those Tier 1, Tier 2 engines and such. they're going to track them much more closely. We're actually seeing representative of engine manufacturers. If you buy a new engine, representatives of engine manufacturers are showing up to make sure what it is being installed in. And they don't put the tag on the engine until it's been installed in some instances.
So you can still broker old machines and stuff like that?
Yes, there's no problem selling old machines. No problems. I would not anticipate any issues with getting availability of engines for the foreseeable future. Any other questions on this? Okay, so the rest of it, my presentation is just basically on our models. So our model 9000 Canberry harvester. This model has been around for a long time. It's been a few years since I've even shown these slides on this one down here. This model came out around 1990. It has been a very popular model through the years. Some of the features, it's got options of straight or curved belts up on the top, just trying to reduce the number of drops on it. Knife edge fan to enhance cleaning. That's down before the product goes into the bucket line, so that the leaf material and such gets out of the machine before we get to the top cleaning area, trying to stop leaf material from embedding in the fruit. This chassis is available with the Orba rotor, dagger rotor, or sleigh picking heads, posit traction, and there are various side deck options. Currently 65 horsepower Cummins engine, and it does have a 55-inch wide tunnel to accommodate some of the more vigorous varieties. This is the curvy belt. You can see. So here we have the elevator that's coming up on the side and is dropping under the belt. And then, again, there's two options. We can have straight belts where it's just coming forward and then drops on the belt that crosses over. Then you have a single for the fruit on the side, or you have the option of the curvy belts, and there's two of them running side by side, and then you have options of up to 3 cleaning stations. Model 9120, similar in its capabilities. This machine was really built for being able to export. It's a smaller chassis, a little bit cheaper, and only available with the Orba rotor head. It does feature a push-pull cleaning system where we're actually blowing air through the belt underneath to try to lift the leaf material, and then have a suction fan above to then pull that leaf material up, just trying to reduce the amount of tumbling of the fruit as it goes through the cleaning system. Again, only available with the Orba rotor head. It does have minimal drops, less drops than what the Model 9000 does. An economical Kubota 48 horsepower engine, posit traction, various deck options, and then it is able to be containerized for shipping. Our Model 7420, some of the features of it, we have two options on the nose. This is common with the Caneberry, the short nose. Then we also have the extended nose option, which is very popular in blueberries. Goal is to get underneath the fruit before we start to bring the plant up and compress it into the picking head. Some of the things that have changed, this actually happened 2 years ago. We widened out the deck here. We added about 3.5 inches in this area right here. Makes it a lot easier to get back and forth and to put your flats in and get them back out of there while you're on the go in the field. This is the front corner, and before the deck stopped right here, and we've now added this space, and there's enough room for about 1.5 extra stacks of flats in those corners. a few different configurations. This is one configuration that we offer on it with swinging gates on the side. You can put up to 6 pallets on it. And there is, with this configuration, there is no room for inspection. You're just filling the lugs and stacking them. And then we also, this is actually a narrow option. You can then also go with the wider option, go 3 across the back. And then we can actually fit 3 through the center as well. We moved the operator forward. One of the complaints that we had was that it was difficult for the operator to see the row, his line sight was blocked in this area when he was looking down. So we moved it forward to get a little bit better view. And then it also allowed us to move some other things forward behind it to get that extra pallet in behind it. The belt, the lower belts, in the heavier fruit, we did see some rolling back in this area, and we were, by extending the overall length of the machine by 9 inches, we were able to reduce our angle through this area. And then we did add the swinging gates on this, both the sides and the back. We have multiple options in this area. There's 3 different lengths on the inspection belts, and then various different catching trays. Steering brake option, which if you get into some really muddy situations, I've had situations where been in really muddy conditions and where typically you'd have to turn the head off and just try to get your way through it. We actually have been able to use the steer brake and continue to keep the machine centered on the plant and continue harvesting while we get through the worst of the mud. Then our Model 8000. It's the simplest design that we have. Not a lot of moving parts. You're just picking head, catchers, and lower belts, and then a cleaning fan at the rear of the machine. This machine does already have the updated electrical system, the CAN bus electrical, +1 controller display. And then here in the back, we've got the pressure fan that's blowing through the belt, and then discharging material here at the back. And then your loading station is right here on either side. And these are commonly used with trailers in the back. So you keep your empties on the chassis, and then as you fill them, you're loading them up on the trailer, so you're filling behind. Just a few other things that we've been working on. This is our 6120 grape harvester that we just introduced a year ago. And this one features a new cleaning system for rachis removal. So in the past, when we were harvesting grapes, you ended up with a lot of clusters. This machine actually removes all the clusters and such. 6420 olive harvester. This machine, this tree is about 10 to 12 feet tall. We can handle up to a 14-foot tree through this. High-density olives is becoming a lot more popular. We're seeing a lot of them going in Northern California. That's the olives.
Couple minutes.
And Model 9220 coffee harvester. Thank you. Any questions?
How are you?
Yes, sir.
I didn't hear you mention anything about auto steer on the model.
Auto steer is an option on all the machines. Yes, sir.
Are your machines equipped with levelers?
Yes, they are. Yeah, that's standard. It's not an option.
And what % slope can you run them on? Max?
Depends on the model. The Model 8000 can go quite steep.
Like?
It could probably handle probably about 6-7%.
Thank you.
Well, we have Frank go and then, any questions after.
All right, thank you very much.